Well, you can hear the familiar rumble of Harley Davidsons with the occasional whine of a crotch rocket thrown in. It is Bike Week, ladies and gentlemen. And it seems to be a rather subdued Bike Week so far, but it's been raining on and off. The weather has not been perfect. It's not as hot as it was last week during the anniversary days, but it's still warm. It's more on the muggy side though, and the bikers are in town, so we'll see what it's like. I don't know if you can hear. I have my window open. I don't know if you can actually hear them. Because I'm not sure how good the noise cancellation on the iPhone is or not. The other day I was on the phone and my dog was barking right in my face, and the person on the other line couldn't hear her. Then I started to wonder if perhaps I imagined that I have a dog. Street. We're going to go down Confederate Avenue. Good morning to you all. It's Friday. I actually have the day off. I took the week off. Got a couple of 2-hour naps in. But I had to go to the spinal specialist yesterday. That was in Lancaster, which is like an hour and a half drive, which sucked. Especially when you're going to a spinal specialist and sitting in a car for more than an hour kind of hurts your back. But we're going to get it taken care of, whatever it is. And I believe there's more than one it, so we'll see. Got to get some imaging done. And yeah, today I have a meeting on Zoom about a Valley Forge tour with, where am I going? I want to go this way. With Ken Gavin, to support the Digital History Pioneers Foundation. And it's going to be an overnight. We're going to try to plan out the details on this Zoom. We want to try to do it this year. After we did the Valley Forge Tavern talk, we had a number of either comments or emails or text messages from people saying something to the effect of, please do a Ken Gavin Valley Forge tour, or if you did a Ken Gavin Valley Forge tour, I would go. And that got me thinking, let's do that. So that's what we're going to do. And of course, all of our tours like this are fundraisers for the Digital History Pioneers Foundation. Thank you very much, Matt, for the cup of coffee and the heart hands. BKW, how you doing? Top of the morning. It was great seeing you and your team at the Visitor Center last week. Thank you. It was great to see you as well. Haven't seen you in a while. Morning 6 questions. Morning Valerie, Tori, Abundermunke, Babra, Matt, Gaslight, Tim, David. David, I met you. Yes, good to meet you and enjoy a conversation a couple of weeks ago at the Trossel Farm. Went to Antietam after we talked. Good. It's nice to meet you too. It's always nice to put a face to a name after seeing a name in the comment section for a year or two, and then you finally meet them. It's always nice to do that. Makes the screen name real. Gaslight. Would you say after the U.S. Army stays at Gettysburg over the night of 1st through 2nd, the rebels have lost the battle? No. I think when the rebels lost the battle is when they lost the battle. When they walked away, that was them losing the battle. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, when they realize they've lost, that's when they've lost. I think it's a thing academics do where they look back in hindsight and they try to pinpoint the point of no return. But it's always hard in the commission of life to recognize the point of no return. Not that it's impossible, but I think if Lee recognized a point of no return prior to him deciding to withdraw, then he's a murderer. But I don't think he was that type. I think he, when he realized it was over, that he'd given it all he could, he decided to withdraw and that the battle was over, and he has lost the battle. So I would say that would be on the 3rd. Faye says, good morning. I can hear them. Baltimore Street is pretty noisy, but I have to stick to my guns that if it helps Gettysburg and promotes historical education, I'm good with it. Well, it definitely helps Gettysburg. Although I do notice that a lot of businesses close during Bike Week. Some I understand, like because they deal with horses, so they have to close because the bikes are too much for the animals. You got to protect your animals. So I get that. But other things, stores, restaurants, that close just because they don't like the clientele, I don't like that. I mean, it's your business, you do with it what you want, but their money's just as green and their plastic's just as digital. A couple 2-hour naps before 10:30. What time? No. During the course of my week off, took one yesterday, took one the day before. Didn't have time to take one Tuesday because we had a show to record. Monday, I took one. It wasn't 2 hours. I'm ready for another one though. I'm not. Man, I was. When was that? When I yelled at Tad on the show and wanted to quit. That was in June. Exclusive to patrons, that type of stuff. I keep that within the family. You know what I mean? So that stays. It's an AG today, which should be free, but I reserve the right to make it not free when it's really something that only the family should know about. So that is where my July burnout started. So as I age, apparently my July burnout comes sooner in the year, which means I need to restructure my year with days off built in throughout instead of working every day up until the point of burnout and then taking a month off. Because and essentially we have shows and some things to do this month, but it's a very light month. And really all that free time will be spent doing some other things. Like related to work, but not recording or anything like that. Matt, do you exercise in a pool? Let gravity do the work. No, I don't. I don't have a pool, and I'm not much for public pools, nor public nudity. Well, let's put it like this. I'm not much for my public nudity. Certain people you don't mind seeing naked, but I don't think people would want to see me in any state of undress. I get frightened when I accidentally walk by the mirror getting into the shower. And sometimes I think it's some kind of werewolf or something, but then I go, oh, no, that's just the mirror. And so I don't want to do that to poor unsuspecting members of the public. So maybe someday I'll strike it rich and put a pool in, or move to a house with a pool. Who knows? Who knows? I would like that. I grew up with a pool, and we swam almost every day during the summer. Didn't have high blood pressure then. Also ran into Tim Smith Museum, helped find a few books in the book for sale, used book sale, good. Yeah, in retrospect, I think I suffered from heat exhaustion. Oh, I don't know how you couldn't, Mike. Like, it was hot, man, and we were out in it. And you, as some commenter couldn't stop pointing out, apparently you're my responsibility, and I should have put hat and the sunglasses on you. Because that might have helped. Next time I'll run out and put a hat and sunglasses on you. Everything will be okay. Tori, yes, we were going to visit Colby this month, but Cindy's month got away from her, and there's too many events that she needs to be there for, so we just don't have the time to do it. And to be honest with you, a vacation is not a relaxation for me. I need a vacation from the vacation. So yeah, I have a very weird way to look at life. I can't, like, so I've been wondering, like, why this whole week I'm, relaxing, I'm resting, but why is my anxiety really high? And the answer is because I'm not used to doing nothing. I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm doing nothing, and I feel like nothing is getting done. Why? Because nothing is getting done. If I don't work, nothing gets done. You say, but what about Tad? You can make Tad work. He's an employee. Yes, I could. But Tad can't get into the studio without me because I have a key card and I have the combination to the alarm, and no one else is allowed to have it. So I have to be there if Tad's going to be there. Then you say, well, Matt, you could make Tad bring things home. Yes, I could, and I have. But Tad has worked very hard. If I have worked hard, he has worked hard. And Tad is a young man. And, a lot of people think, oh, well, you're young, you have the energy. No. When you're young, you don't have the energy. And simple work is being put upon, right? Like, you're asked to do your actual, you're being put upon. Whereas old people, such as myself, we don't actually have the energy. The young ones do. They don't have the mental whatever it is to believe that work is good for you. When you're older, you do. And the older you get, the more you appreciate it, and the more you want to work hard because you realize your days are numbered and soon you won't be able to. And the party is coming to a close, and it'll be over faster than you think. Or at least that's what the wise among us realize. And so, Tad needs his break too, because he's been working right alongside me the whole time. And he's got the stress of dealing with me, which is not an easy task. You just ask him, he'll tell you. One minute I say, do this, and then the next minute I go, you know what? Don't do that. But the next minute, it's 10 minutes later, and he's already 10 minutes into doing what I just told him to do, and now he's got to undo it, or, it's not fun being around me. So I decided that Tad deserves a break, and so he has a break as well. But you better believe I'm working his ass twice as hard when we get back next week. Twice as hard. You hear that, Thaddeus? Morning, Dustin. How ye Dean? That was our concern, heat of going out to the reenactment. If I knew you were going to be there or at the movement, I would have gone. Jeff Trexler says, painting Mosby in the studio and listening to Addressing Gettysburg. Does it get any better? Great work, Matt. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And I love your paintings. You know that. We still have to get you on the show. Jesus, Matt, LOL. Don't vanity ruin your back. Vanity ruin my back. What is that referring to? What did I say? Six Questions says, get me a big floppy hat and Wives of Beverly Hills sunglasses next time. You know what? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take a picture just to show whoever that commenter was that can't be constructive in any of his comments. BKW says, Matt, FYI, there's a glare on your windshield from the card on your dad. Oh, I moved it. There you go. Thank you, Jeff and Dustin. Morning, Paul. How are you? Oh, is Alicia still around? Faye? Jeff Pazik says, I can't wait for AG Undercover Boss. Oh, that's a good idea. Phil says, I'll get those books to you when we're in town in 2 weeks. And Tim says, thanks, Phil. Much appreciation for your generosity. Yes. Thank you very much, Phil. We mentioned the other day on Patreon, we did a show, and one of the things we talked about was how we finally have an eBay account set up for Digital History Pioneers, and Court and myself are in the process. Court has been doing this for years. I've started, kind of collecting artifacts. Some for keeping, some for, what is it? Some for selling, some for keeping. From the wonderful film Waiting for Me. Yes, so some of them are for auctioning on our eBay to support Digital History Pioneers, which at this stage supports Addressing Gettysburg's operating costs and budgets for productions, etc. And and Phil said, "Hey, I got something. If you're interested, I'd donate it." And I said, "Yeah." And it's an unopened set of the Gettysburg ORs from Savis Beatty. And what's one of the things we're going to auction off? Court and I are going to go to our storage lockers. Actually, we should do that this week because he has off. Why do I always think of this shit at the last minute? But anyway, we're going to go inventory all the stuff that we have and start cataloging it and running auctions there and so on and so forth and whatnot and such. So, yeah. Faye says, no, she had to leave, unfortunately. She was very disappointed and did not get to meet you. Next time, yes, many people feel that their visit to Gettysburg is not as good as it could have been had they bumped into me. And I understand that. I once went to Long Island hoping to run into Billy Joel, so I understand the disappointment. But you got to, so you can tell her the joy. Oh, you were there the night. Oh, you left. You left right before I yelled at Tad. You could have witnessed a dressing Gettysburg meltdown. What's the eBay handle? That is a question for Tim. I do not know. But once we're ready to, well, I guess I've announced it, so I'll find out and we'll get that out there. Unless Tim is still listening, he can put it in the comments section there. Don, I met Don too. I've already met Don, but Don lives here. He moved here with the family, and Don, ladies and gentlemen, is a town guide. Don, I saw you guiding. I believe it was yesterday. No, it was. What is today? It was Wednesday. Saw you guiding right in front of the hotel. I thought you were looking my way. I waved to you, but you weren't looking my way. So you didn't wave back. But I saw you there, Don. Don got to spend time with me and Kevin Tracy and Six Questions Lens and Zach Levine. All listeners. And they came around the announcer's tent for the last reenactment on Sunday. I got to watch Six Questions shine. BKW says, Matt, I know this would be work and I would help with it, but I had trouble finding out everything going on for the anniversary between the park talks, museum, and other events. I don't even know about the reenactments or at the farm until I got there, and Facebook I saw them. Yes, so there should be like a one-stop shop for all that stuff. And ironically, there is. But you're saying addressing Gettysburg should do that too. And I agree with you. In fact, I've always wanted to do, at least for July, or at least for the anniversary week, a calendar of events that has everybody, or at least friends addressing Gettysburg, right? You got to be good to your friends. Or maybe something, things that we recommend you do, because we've done them. I don't know, something like that. I'd love to do it. I always wanted to do it. It was just one more thing for me to take on my plate. But now there's some people around, and as you say, you volunteered to do that. Cindy's good with that stuff too. She knows everything that's going on, and she'll just start talking about some event, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, the event that's going on at the such and such this week. And I go, no, I have no clue what you mean. So that's great, because I can't, my ADD addled brain will not allow me to focus on my own stuff and everybody else's. So if you would like to spearhead that, BKW, I think that's great. I think we would be happy to do that. Put it on the website and share it all over the place. Because there are a lot of things that are going on, and a lot. Unfortunately, there's not everybody's great at social media. I'm not particularly good at it myself. But some of the museums and stuff around here are not great at it. They don't have a big following, or they don't get a lot of interaction or whatever. So anything that we can do to help, because the ones that do tend to suck up all the oxygen for everybody else, and everybody else has some legitimately really good stuff. Some of it's a little more deep divey, less pop culture Gettysburg, and definitely worth doing. I mean, I went and saw a talk actually I saw two at the seminary, and they were great and very interesting, and I felt there should have been at least double the amount of people there. So maybe we'll do that. We'll do, addressing Gettysburg recommends or whatever. We're also working on something that could probably tie into a new perk for patrons above a certain level. that will hopefully make your stay cheaper here in Gettysburg. So we got some stuff going. Oh, by the way, somebody do me a favor. Write this in the comments section now so everybody can see it. Do the @ sign and then write the word Gettysburg, and right after it, no space, explored, EXPLORED, at Gettysburg Explored. Go subscribe to that channel. It's our new one. And yeah, we've got some stuff that'll be coming out. It was originally called AG Clips, so there's like 5 people that are already subscribed to it. I never really pushed it because that was just one extra thing for me to do, was to make clips from a show and then go put it over there on the clip channel, and I never really did it. And so Stephen and I had an idea the other day. We went out and started shooting, and we're like, yeah, this is something that we have to do. And that's what we're doing. So just go ahead, subscribe, and soon we will populate it with videos. And you may be saying, well, what about addressing history? Well, that's still coming too. We're waiting on our logo still, and we're having trouble with the logo. It's I don't really have an idea for a logo. I did have an idea for a logo, but it didn't work as a logo. It worked as a painting, but it didn't work as a logo, which kind of sucked. So we went back to the drawing board with that, and neither one of us have a real good idea for it. So we're waiting for that moment of inspiration. And you got to have a logo. Can't have a new anything without a logo. But we do have the channel. We just don't have a logo, so we're not promoting it yet. But that's where the Tavern Talks are going to live. So they'll probably be removed from addressing Gettysburg and then put over there. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, Gettysburg Explored is where you want to go. There you go. Thank you, David, for writing it. And I don't know if that's clickable on everybody's end there, but that's the way it looks. Take a screenshot so you don't forget in the comments section there. Jeff Pazik says, T-minus 3 minutes till Matt forgets everything he just said about a schedule for the anniversary. What was that? What is the schedule? What do you mean? What? Ken, better late than never. Everything's connected. Would you please run past here? Memorial Inn used to be located. I worked at the Peace Memorial Inn. Well, I could only imagine that's out by the Peace Light. So yes, we'll do that. Valerie said, I love that show on Jenny Wade. Yes, I saw you left a comment. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. I love that type of stuff. And what's so funny about the Jenny Wade thing, about where the shot came from and all that stuff, is does it really matter? Like, it really, I mean, there's so many bullets flying around. Who the hell, she's still dead. But this is how the human mind works. I find that stuff fascinating. It's so macabre. Like, why do we care about that? But we do. Babs, thank you very much. Dustin, thank you. Ken, thank you. So now we have 9 subscribers. In case you're wondering, this is Carlisle Street. Very nice, quiet little area this time of year. And then, why? And then the college kids come back. And it looks like a, I don't even know what it looks like. I'm trying to think of something funny, but I couldn't think of anything funny. Jeff Pasnick subscribed. Rock and Rolls All-Stars subscribed. Lieutenant Dan, thank you kindly. Michael also did. Susan subscribed to what? She just joined. Susan, you want to go to, what is it? On YouTube, it's called Gettysburg Explored, as in past tense explored. All one word. Go over there, subscribe, come back in and chit-chat with us. It's our second channel that we're starting. Don subscribed. Angry Irish, what did Angry Irish do? Passing on the right like God intended. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Don subscribed. Angry says, can you talk about the... Well... I try not to talk about after that one night in 1993. But every once in a while I can't avoid talking about Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, find myself talking about Sometimes in the morning, Cindy will say, you know, at about 2 a.m. last night, you woke me up because you were screaming about Oh, mural on the Brickyard. Oh, sorry, Angry Irish. I didn't see that was a 2-liner. Well, the mural, oh my God, his name escaped. Is it Mark Dunkelman? Is that right? I think so. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not confident in that name, but that's the name that came to mind. It's the artist. It was behind plexiglass, but it has been redone like on glass or some kind of thing like that, so that it doesn't fade and it stays. I don't go out there enough, and I should bring you guys out there one time. We'll do that. Rich Condon lives near there, and maybe one day we'll go exploring with Richie on Gettysburg Explored, and we'll go out to the whatchamacallit. In fact, I'm going to call him, and that's what we're going to do. All right? That's what we're going to do. Michael says, subscribe to Gettysburg. Oh, you got you. 21. Oh, okay. We were at 6 this morning. That's pretty good. Is there an AG show next week? And if so, will it be free? Babs, yes, I think. It's the 3rd. Yeah, it should be Monday, actually. Switching to Monday. The only reason the other one wasn't free is because Tad forgot. I didn't double check his work, and he forgot that was supposed to be made free. And then after the way the show went, I was like, you know what? People got to pay if they want to see this, because it's embarrassing. So now all the haters are joining Patreon. all the hate watchers are like, oh, well, let's go give him $5 so I can see that. Unfortunately, it's the $25 level that can see it. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so the hotel, sorry, it was here. Whoever asked that. Wundermonkey is number 2022, not 2022, 22. Dogface subscribed also. Thank you, Paul. Susan subscribed. Phil subscribed. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Now all we need is about 980 more of you. Then things will start happening. It's a real pain in the nuts to start a new YouTube channel. YouTube, they have milestones before you can do certain things. So like before you can, so Barbara, you'll like this, before you can monetize an account, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, or at least that's the way it was when I started. I don't know if they changed that or not. If that's still the case, you got a while before we'll hit 1,000, I'm sure. And so you won't have to sit through any commercials there. So we'll be working for free unless, you know, a miracle occurs. Which is a shame because I said to Derek, I'm Steven, I said, you know, if we can ever monetize that, I'll help you buy diapers for your baby. So till then, they're using cloth. So go ahead, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to Gettysburg Explored. Help us get diapers for Steven. I mean, well, for his baby. Well, Mark Dunkelman. Okay, good. I got it right. Angry Irish, you got it. There it is. Gettysburg Explored. It's going to be a little different than what you're used to from addressing Gettysburg. But it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a familiar format, but with our twist on it. Matt Gillespie, thank you. Angry Irish is number 27. Nice. 27. There are 26 people watching now, so we have one more subscriber over there than people watching this right now. I'll tell you what, Stephen Taft and I have been going on morning walks. We didn't do it yesterday morning because it was raining, like pouring, and then when we were going to do it when we were done with work, and then it was also pouring, different storm, but nonetheless pouring, and I had developed a migraine in the meantime, which was great, a lot of fun. So that was my 2-hour nap there, is recovering from the migraine. Or as I like to call it, a me-grain, because when I have a migraine, nothing else in the world matters except for me getting over that friggin' migraine. They're the worst. Anyway, we're gonna go this afternoon for our walk, and I love it. I got in 11,000 steps on Wednesday's walk. I haven't walked that much in my entire life, but it feels great. I've got like energy. It's wonderful. And it's getting me back in touch with Gettysburg and the battlefield, and all these things come back to me walking through there, and that's where Gettysburg Explored comes from. Is it's basically doing what we used to do when we started addressing Gettysburg, but we didn't videotape it. let's go around McPherson's Woods here. And it's basically kind of, I guess, revitalizing the hanging out on the battlefield, the pointless, like not pointless, but intentionless hangouts that me and Eric the producer and Ronnie Ronstadt and I'm pretty sure Six Questions was with us several times. A bunch of people who really are kind of no longer even part of the scene anymore, but they were like the OG Getty's nerds. We'd meet somewhere and we would just kind of walk and explore, and Eric would have a story about something he just read and he'd share it with us, or I'd be like, I think I remember a guy saying this once, or somebody would be like, did you know that like right over here is the original spot where the John Burns statue was? And then we'd go and we'd look and we'd find it and we're like, oh my God, look at that, that's so cool. And then it's like, yeah, because they changed the road and you could see the old road bed in the grass still. And they were like, oh my God, look at it. Shit like that. So that's what we're doing on Gettysburg Explored. And as only we can, by the way. So accept no imitations when you see it. Michael says, are you going to make a new commercial featuring the dynamic Getty's nerds for Gettysburg Explored? Yeah, we'll do. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but yes, we're going to do something with it. And that might be where videos of the Get Out of the Car tours live. I don't know. See, this is all because YouTube is stupid with their algorithm. Now, you'll say, well, they're pretty smart people. Yes, they are smart people, and it is smart for them. But it's not smart for people like me who look at their YouTube channel as their own television channel and should have different programming. YouTube says, no, we want you to be Ask a Gettysburg Guide. So that's what we're going to push to your subscribers and to non-subscribers. You want to do something else? Start another channel. Start from scratch. And that's what we're doing. That's why Addressing History is going to be another channel. Originally, we were just going to change the name of Addressing Gettysburg, but we found that through our research that is not, in our case, it's not necessarily bad advice for everybody, but for our case, it is bad advice because we're a heavily Gettysburg channel. So to go to Addressing History all of a sudden would not make much sense. Such an awesome feeling getting steps in on the battlefield. Yeah, it is, Paul. It is a very a very cool feeling. Barbara says, oh, please don't do another beaver commercial. Oh, Babs, always against the grain. Always against the grain. No pun intended with beavers and wood. Don says, will be a challenge to top that commercial. Maybe, Don. Who knows? We have some tricks up our sleeve. Yeah, Mac Gillespie. That is actually something I was going to put over there just to populate it. You love. See, Barbara, everybody's quoting it. They all love it, and you hate it. You love that place, don't you, Sport? Hey, buddy, what's got you so down? Sounds like we need to have a talk. Come on. Oh, God. This time I would like to see Matt in the beaver costume. Well, unfortunately, they don't make them that large. Mikey, and we bought a child size for Mikey, and it was actually a little too big. We had to put lifts on his shoes. Oh my God. What the hell are we staring at? You know, the sad part, it's not the "you love this place, don't you" Sport. It's the next one where we're at the seminary. What is it he says there? How do we do that? Mike says. And he goes, I'm glad you asked, Sport. That's what it is. I'm glad you asked, Sport. That the seminary, that's the path that Buford and Reynolds are riding along. And as they pass the camera, the camera pans up to the cupola. And in the original cut of the commercial, that's how that sequence ended, or that scene ended. But we had to cut it because the pacing was off, waiting for the camera to get up there. Even when we sped it up, it still took too long because Mike says, that sounds amazing. And then it had to be right on the heels of that where Court goes, it is. So we had to cut it, and I was so proud that that was our tip of the hat to the movie Gettysburg. But for pacing purposes, we had to get rid of it. Isn't that a bitch? Matt Gillespie says it's one of the greatest commercials ever produced. Well, I don't know about that. But you know what? That has a lot to do with a childhood in front of the television. Like, I always hated commercials, but I was fascinated by commercials. And then there was a period of time where I was either on the crew of a commercial or produced like some of those as seen on TV commercials, and had to learn how to do them. But what I really love is the cheesiness of like 80s Massengill commercials and the end of the episode dad talk on a sitcom. And so I said, it has to be a combination of the two. It has to feel like a Massengill commercial, mom and daughter walking along the surf on a beach or in a park or whatever, right? But it has the cheesiness of a father-son conversation with with the sitcom dad. And the funny thing is, Court's like 10 years younger than Mike. So he's playing the dad role simply because he's taller and he has a better voice. And yeah, I don't know. So I was like, that's what we have to do. All of that television watching as a kid has to pay off somehow. And that's how we made it pay off for me. The truth be told, it did not. If we were a real business, our ROI on that is horrible. But people laugh at it, people remember it, people notice it, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own, and that's worth something. It's not going to pay my medical bills if I have a catastrophic medical incident, but it's worth something in the cockles of one's heart. And at the end of the day, when you're shivering out in the gutter, old, with no retirement, no home, about to breathe your last, that's what's going to warm me in my final moments. And that's really what commercials are for. I think Flo from Progressive will tell you that. She doesn't care about the millions of dollars that she receives from those commercials. It's the warmth in her heart that she gets, knowing that when she dies, she'll be taken care of. But the next ad that we're working on is for DHP and a very specific project. But we think you're going to like it. Patrons know because we talked about it on the State of the Show. It's like the end of Full House, exactly, Jeff. And I think the direction to court was be a combination of Gary Cole and Bob Saget. And Gary Cole, because I love Gary Cole. I don't know why, but I think he cracks me up. He also played Custer, but he cracks me up on Veep. He cracked me up in the Brady Bunch movies and Office Space. And I'm like, so, think of Gary Cole in all those movies. And actually, no, it wasn't Bob Saget. It was Gary Cole in the Brady Bunch movie. There were a bunch of things we threw at court, and it didn't click until I said Gary Cole in the Brady Bunch. And then he goes, okay. And that's where he gets the little chuckle before he says, come on. And they go for the walk. I said, do like Gary Cole does in the Brady Bunch. And he goes, oh, yeah, all right. and there we were. Dad Court was born. Sport is one of the best old-timey nicknames. Yeah, it is. I don't know why when I wrote it on the script and then we were reading it, I think it was Mike. He saw that and he goes, sport, and he starts laughing. Like, it makes people laugh, sport, because it's like, what does that mean, sport? He's a sport. It's like chief is another one. Chief is better than sport. Yeah, chief is a good one too. What's up there, chief? Because you always wonder, like, are we talking like, do you think I'm a Sioux? Or do you think I'm a fireman? Or a police officer? What kind of chief are we talking? Yep, it can be challenging for those of us who are pre-digital. Mikey B and I were talking about pre-digital people because he got a call from his dad with a problem with the laptop. And we were talking about how funny it is when our parents call with a problem, like a technological problem. And I said, well, Mike, they grew up in a mechanical world, not a digital world. And so, like, that's later for them. And, he goes, yeah, but I think this particular old people generation refuses to try to learn anything new. And I go, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, my dad refuses to learn to try anything new. He still has a rotary phone. And you have to crank his car in the front to start it. But I don't know if it, I like it depends on what you did in your work life, right? Like and I'm just kind of using empathy here, as I never actually asked him, but my dad owned a business and he worried about it like I worry about mine. He's stressed over it. It was a 24/7 thing for him. I don't really remember him being able to fully relax on a vacation because he always had his notebook there, and he'd work out the schedule for the week while he's on vacation. Like next week's schedule, he'd write next week's schedule. So, like, I'm at an age where I just don't want to be bothered learning something new, because the shit that I have to put my mind through on a daily basis between worry and work and worrying about work, I don't have the bandwidth anymore. I'm just mentally exhausted. I think that for some people, that's what the case is. Others, I think that they feel they're entitled to not learn and to be served until the day they die. And, but then others, I also think, some people just aren't good with technology, whether it's mechanical technology or otherwise. Like, they just never were good at that stuff. That's what I hate about social media. It makes everybody aware of everybody else. And then we get annoyed by people who are not us. And I don't know. Maybe it was always that way. It just seemed everything is magnified and amplified. And that's not the way it's always been. Well, analog, yes, but I also mean mechanical in like, it wasn't a computer that ran your car. Everything was mechanical. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was a machine powered by electricity, but what, 70s is when digital started coming around? You know what I mean by mechanical. But yes, analog versus digital. Yes, correct. Everything's connected says during that. Oh wait, I think looks like it's okay. The Youth Education Corps was a government program for young people from surrounding parts of Pennsylvania, and participants stayed at the Peace Light Inn during the summer of '78. It was my birth summer. Everything's Connected continues. During that summer, we helped repair cow-high, hog-low fences around the battlefield, painted historic buildings, and completed many other projects for the National Park Service. We also collected data at various sites to determine how many visitors completed the entire driving tour of the monuments. Is that with those tubes that run across the road? I always wondered how they can tell, like, what exactly are they counting? Obviously it's cars, but I mean, how do you know where that car has been? I mean, they must have a formula. There's a formula for everything, but I don't know. See, this is why I'm not a statistics person. Don says, my dad to this day still does not have a cell phone and writes checks for everything. Yeah. Well, I don't have a check. I have a checkbook for the business. I don't have a personal checkbook because everything that I need to pay for is digital. And if I owe somebody money, I will either get cash or I will Zelle it to them or use PayPal or something like that. But I just know one day we're all going to wake up and find out we've all been wiped out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust it. And I think people like your dad, well, although the thing is, everything is digitized. So the bank will have no record of his money or anything. And it's not real anymore. So, like, we're all screwed. Yeah, we're all screwed. You see? The answer was right under your nose the entire time. I love that you guys know, like, you have a favorite line. Except Barbara. Barbara doesn't, but, you know. Kevin says, my mom learned the VCR too. She'd record programs for me. She took to email also and loved it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it just depends on the person. I remember one of my grandfathers wanted to understand the world that he lived in, no matter what his age was, and he did not use old age as an excuse to not progress. The other one couldn't care less. Worked with his hands. That's what he liked to do. That's what he did. And because they're different types of people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with either one. You can't teach a fish to fly or a bird to swim. And you can't get mad at them for not wanting to learn to try to learn. Because that's not in their nature. Facebook is a freaking nightmare. It used to be user-friendly when it first started, but then they started fucking with things, and now it's like, I cannot stand Facebook. You can't find anything, like you want to go and do something, you got to go through all these menus to get there, and it's the most convoluted thing. I think what happened with Facebook was they got upset that mostly old people were using Facebook, because they wanted young people. So they said, well, let's make it complicated in ways that only young people could figure out, because young people have that special kind of autism that the tech people had and still have. So they can speak to each other through some kind of weird telepathy or intuition, or I don't even know what it is. But did you ever see Ski Liberty? Let's go to Ski Liberty. I'm just driving aimlessly. If you like golf, there's a couple of nice golf courses out here. Ski Liberty or Liberty Mountain has one right here. Matt Gillespie says, when we first got computers at work, an older employee said he wasn't doing it and retired. Keeper O'Cool says, you know where the car has been by its bumper stickers. This car climbed Mount Washington. Kevin says, terrific drive. Great chat today. Thank you, Kevin. Francis says, some you explain the compass orientation of Gettysburg. It's confusing when giving people directions. To me, Gettysburg is a very easy town to figure out. Because it's laid out like a compass. Baltimore Street and Carlisle Street run north and south. York Street runs east, and Chambersburg Street runs west. Now, they all get to a point where they're intersected by another road that veers off in a, well, I don't know what you call it. Like, what do you call, like, northwest? Like, off kilter. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not a true due west or due north or whatever. You know, one of those directions. So, you got the Emmitsburg Road and the Baltimore Pike. So Baltimore Street turns into Baltimore Pike, which goes down to D.C. You can also get to Baltimore that way. But also the Emmitsburg Road or Steinware Avenue. Once you get out of town, it's Emmitsburg Road, and that goes to, guess where? It goes to Emmitsburg, guys. That's where it goes. I've never been down this road before. I hope I don't get shot. Let's see what's out here. Oh, this is where all the nice houses, well, this is where a lot of the nice houses are. Okay, yeah, because they're on the golf course. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Definitely a golf fan there. He's got some. Here, I'll let you guys see what I'm looking at as we go by. All right, this is definitely where the elite meet to live. There's one house for sale I just passed on my left. Oh yeah, look at this guy. He's king of that mountain here. Look at him. There he is, up there. It's top of the hill. Oh, wait. Sorry. What was I talking about? Northeast, southwest, all that stuff? Okay, it's the compass orientation guide. So I assume you're talking about the town and not the battlefield. But the battlefield, I don't know, it's pretty easy to understand as well. Going with, first day battlefield is northwest of town. And the lines are essentially facing, I mean, technically I think it's facing, the Union line's facing like northwest, but like essentially west. They're running north and south, facing west or east if you're Confederate, but then as the day goes on, it's more of facing north and south as lines extend into the 11th Corps area and all that jazz. And then when you get to your day 2 and 3 lines, again, facing roughly west is the Union line until it curves around on the fish hook, and you have your old little facing of the easterly direction there. And the Confederates are roughly facing south and east. This is nice up here. Look at these are the houses I look at as I drive down on the valley floor, and I go, man, what does a guy got to do to be able to afford one of these puppies? Look at them, big, beautiful, gorgeous porches and balconies, views across the valley, a lake down on the valley floor. A beast car locked in against morning. All now sleeping. Rugs silent, mirrors vacant. Dreams watching each other narrowly, soft, luxuriant cars. Girls in garages out to get liquor and clothes and half gallons of wine. Wait, I think those were 3 Jim Morrison poems, all mushed into one. Well, this is fun. I've never been up here before. You guys got me in an exploring mood. What do I have? I have a meeting at 2. Okay, good. I've got time. Yeah, Kevin says, it's true, Matt, but if you want to catch a fish, you got to think like a fish. Quote from an early episode of Northern Exposure by Ed's grandfather. No, absolutely. And I think, what is this? This is called Skyline Terrace. Let's see what this is like. I think, though, that there are just some, I think with everything in life, it's all your wiring. Some people are wired to see a thing through. Some people are wired to adapt. Some people are wired to make it only so far and then stop. And that's it. Like, you can't force somebody. When they're young, you can, because young people don't know enough to say, no, go F yourself. I'm not doing this. So they do it. But like, you get to a certain age, it's just like, yeah. You know what you can do. You know what you're capable of. Man, this is nice up here. Oh my God, look at this house. Wait, you'll see. Yeah. All right. I got to work harder because I need to move into if I'm going to live in a neighborhood, I got to live in a neighborhood with a house like this. This puppy. Look at that one. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Couldn't get it fast enough, folks. And I don't want to look like I'm casing the joint. Beautiful, beautiful homes up here. Where here is, I don't know. Wait, what are you talking about there? Everything's Connected said we had those, but we had to write down all the license plates of each car that drove past us at various points in the tour. Oh, that's interesting. And then you go, and what about how they changed the results when you did searches on Google? That changed dramatically. What do you mean? Like how Google changed the results? Oh, wait. How far back are you talking to? How far back am I? Hold on. Let me just stop here for a second and catch up. What was your favorite general that fought in the Battle of Gettysburg and why? Great drive through Longstreet. His people were Dutch. That's a good one, Keeper. Okay, so I'm not far behind here. Did I lose you guys at some point? Is that why? Or am I just want to make sure. I don't know. I've never been up in these mountains before. I didn't notice if the signal went away. Anyway, who's my favorite general? Well, I've always been a Custer guy, but not so much because he's a general or because of his generalship. Just because I thought he's just an interesting guy. He's a colorful guy. I find those people to be interesting. And let's see. I do have a good deal of respect for Meade, and I'm glad that he's getting many second looks with the long-awaited Jen Murray book about Meade. It's not just Gettysburg, though, but looking forward to that. Kent Masterson Brown's book, Meade at Gettysburg. I like that Meade is getting a second look. He's not a colorful character, but he's a solid guy. And I think solid guys, as boring as they may be, they get the job done. And they're just different. They're on a different plane than the rest of us. And so that's what I like about Meade. Longstreet, too. I think Longstreet, if we're to believe that he said what he said to Lee, then, I have a good deal of respect for Longstreet. Because, I agree with that. I'm sure you all watched Matt's lecture on Pickett's charge, or planning Pickett's charge. And he talks in the beginning about how, a subordinate's job is to ultimately follow orders, but also to let the boss see things a different way. But there's a point where the boss is like, I hear you, but no, let's go get this done. And then you got to shut up and you got to do it. And so I think Longstreet deserves some credit for trying to open Lee's eyes, if we're to believe Longstreet's account of what he said. But also Longstreet to me seems to be more of a solid guy. I don't believe that he dragged his heels or he was pouting. He might have been in a bad mood, but I don't believe that any of the problems with Longstreet's core on July 2nd were him pouting or anything like that, or being a baby. I think, there were other things, as we've talked about on the show many times. I just want to show you the view from up here. So that's why these are like $1 million houses up here, because that's what they get to look at. Even if you don't like golf, I wouldn't mind. Actually, I don't, but I wouldn't mind looking at that every day. Till, someday it's no longer a golf course and it's a bunch of condos, and then I can't wait to move, Let's fix the phone here. And then we go back into the Liberty Mountain Resort. As the sign says right there, it's welcoming us. You've got your ski slopes here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That's what they have. There's a swimming pool I can see as well. That's for the summer. But you got these wonderful rooms you could stay in here. There's a restaurant right here called the Eagle and the Owl, or Eagle and the Owl. And it's good food, nice atmosphere. And we like to go there. Bo and Chris and Cindy and I like to go there because it's out of town. You feel like you're in Colorado. It feels like a ski lodge out there, like out west. But you don't have to actually get on an airplane and go to Colorado. Nothing against Colorado. Something against airplanes. Yeah, I mean, you know, so we got that. It's got its own sewage treatment plant, it looks like. Some kind of plant over there. And then it's also next to a place that I often recommend to people called Taverna. Taverna's going to be, we'll pass it when I make a right out of here. I know a lot of you have your traditional Gettysburg restaurant that you like to go to, and you don't mind a 45-minute or an hour and 45-minute wait and everything. I get that. I was a tourist once. We had our traditional haunts, and we will sit there and wait in line for a table at the Dobbin House for 2 hours because it's the Dobbin House. This place right here, Taverna, another very good restaurant out of town. Straight shot out the Fairfield Road. You know, do your traditional restaurant your first night or whatever, but then, you know, give yourself a break. Why wait in line? Go out of town. And then there's the Mansion House up in Fairfield, which is, that's, I would bring your funny little honey there. It's a beautiful place for a date. You might want to even stay there. They've got some great rooms upstairs. I know. You're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that because we've been going to X for all these years. I get it, I do. Just saying, if you ever want to avoid the schlep, there's places out here to go. I got one more area that I'll drive you through. Which I don't think I've ever gone through, so I don't know what's out there. And I might lose you, okay? But these are the chances you take being an explorer like we are. Be very careful when you come through Fairfield. They have these speed signs that tell you your speed. They don't take your picture or anything, but they do have cops around. They're very strict about going 25 while going through town. Now, if you're a speed demon, it's going to be tough. And there's no real way to skirt town on a road that goes faster. You're better off just sticking to 25. It's not a very long way through. And you'll survive. But so will the kids that run out into the street that you might run over if you're going 45. All right, there's the mansion. I just passed the Mansion House on the left, but here's it's right by the St. John Lutheran Church, which has a historic marker in front of it. I forget what it says because I haven't been reading it in a long time. But anyway, I always liked this little bend here because of the barns. and this cool little old farmhouse with the shrubs blocking the view of it right now, but the picket fence, very nice. And then you go out and there's this big, beautiful nothing. There's houses on the left, so I'll just do this so you can see the big, beautiful nothing. There's mountains, there's a field, there's trees, but not many signs of man, except for all the mailbox that we pass and the telephone poles. But, you know, we could ignore those for a moment. Barbara says, that was one thing I learned from a Gettysburg Christmas. Never knew there was skiing out that way. Yes, yes. And that was shot guerrilla style. They did not have permission to go and do that, but they did it anyway. Jean says, I caught a live drive finally. Yes, finally, Jean, you are here with us. Oh, excuse me, we went over a bump and it scared me. All right, here's another railroad crossing. We'll stop here because the sign says so, and we will cross the tracks. We are now on the proverbial other side of the tracks, ladies and gentlemen, and my, is it nice, right? Farmland, beautiful farmland. Keeper of the Cool says, yeah, but do they have peanuts? No, that's why I say, do your traditional restaurant one night and treat yourself, go out of town, don't wait in line for a table, just relax, have a nice relaxing meal. Kevin says, oh yes, Barbara. In the winter at night, the lights on the ski runs are visible and clear from Gettysburg. Yes, great sight. Are you a skier? Bike week is so loud. Are you in town, Gene? See you, Don. Well, I don't have a clue as to where we are. Well, I have a clue, but I don't know where it goes. We'll find out sooner or later, or just give up and turn around. Oh, Gene says, no, I'm not in town. I just won't make the mistake of coming during bike week. Yeah, it's, I mean, usually bike week traffic starts coming in Wednesday, and they did, but it doesn't seem to be as it's been before. But we have had rain that's put a damper on things, so that could also bike weeks like Maine, venue, that the official bike week, because that is an official like organization. Like you can't, anybody can't use that name. Like they go after you if you use the name Bike Week. That's outside of town at the Barn Resort. So that might be it too. Is that that's sucking people down there? I don't know. We'll see. All right, Iron Springs Road. Oh, okay. I think I know where we are. All right, we're gonna go this way. I know. Okay, I've been up this road, the opposite direction, and I do know that we lose service completely up there. All right. Well, we'll be getting back to the Fairfield Road momentarily, and when we do, I'm going to end the video, head home, do a couple things before my meeting, and then have my meeting and whatnot. So you guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this off the beaten path ride, if you will. And when I have the time, I'll do these, another time. But I don't always have the time. But I took the time today because I can, and I did. So you guys have a great day, great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time. So long.